Hello everyone, it's Jennifer McGuire and welcome back to my favorite crafty things of 2013. I've been sharing a lot of my favorite products that I've been using. I thought I'd share with you my favorite way to mail cards or to present them. I thought maybe this would be helpful because I get a lot of questions about it. So first let's talk about mailing cards. A few days ago I talked about Hero Arts envelopes. I thought I'd share that real briefly again and then we'll dive into some new things. Hero Arts has these great envelopes that come in a huge number of colors. I love them because they have that nice little bracket looking edge. Little decorative, makes it look a little more interesting, and I feel like if you're spending a lot of time on the handmade card inside, it'd be nice to have the outside look nice too. So I have this in a variety of colors, and this is what I'd say 99% of my cards get mailed in. I do some cards that are bigger, so I have bigger envelopes for those, but for my basic 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, they always get mailed in a Hero Arts envelope. Now, sometimes I create cards that have a tiny bit of bulk to them, maybe a few little wooden embellishments like this one here. What I do for those cards is I use some packing foam. It's very thin, but it's enough to protect it as it goes through the mail. And I just cut a piece that fits the front of the card or the area that needs to be protected, and I slide it in with the envelope, and it stays put in that area, and it keeps it from getting dinged up and ruining the envelope as it goes through the mail. I love this stuff, and I finally found a pack on Amazon, which I'll link to, that isn't giant. Usually you buy this in giant rolls because it's for shipping and packing, but I found a smaller pack and I just cut pieces off of it, and I love this padding. Now, most of my cards I use that padding in an envelope, but if I have an extra special card or that has extra thickness to it, I use these Uline white padded envelopes. The inside space is about 6 1/2 by 7 1/2, so it holds a card fine. It also holds a bigger card, like a 5 by 7 card. That'll still fit in here too. I like this over the paper ones that you get because the padding's on the inside, but then there's this plastic white on the outside. The white's pretty, and also you can't punch through it, so it stays durable through the mail. It costs about a couple bucks to mail this in the States. Not a big deal. The only unfortunate thing is you got to buy a ton of them, but I go through them pretty quickly because I send a lot of cards, so I really like these padded envelopes. Another thing that I do for my cards to make them a little special is every year I get some photo stamps printed from photostamps.com. Family photos, these are some old ones. Especially with the holidays, I think it's fun to have these on some cards. Now, I would never put them on a bill that goes in the mail, but for a special loved one, these are definitely fun. Now, I also love personal stamps. I've shared with you in the past some of my favorite personalized stamps. So these are great for address return address stamps on the outside of the cards or on the back of the cards. This is my favorite stamp for the back of a card. It's from Twig and Linen. It's just a girl that I found on Etsy that makes great stamps. Very simple. I like to stamp here with my address or my web address and my name and my initials. However, you can get any kind of information you want put on there. She's got fantastic number of stamps, and in fact she's just come out with some recently that I really like. This is one of her new ones. I think it would look great on the side of a card or on the side of an envelope or coming off the back of a card. Just a fantastic design. Here's another one that would be great. You could put your initial in it and you can put your email address, whatever you want in it. So I recommend checking her out on Etsy. She's got a ton of designs, and some of them are great for the handmade stamps on the back of cards and some are great for return address. Another one I found recently is Lush Print. I've seen one of these in person, although I don't have mine yet. I've ordered some. I love how it has that etched rubber, and you can, have this as kind of a keepsake. It's a great gift. Now, these you have a ton of designs that she's created. She's also on Etsy. And there's all kinds of things. So you can get a holiday design or a more general design throughout the year. But I think it's fun to have something like this. You've spent a lot of time on your card, so you might as well have something extra special on the envelope too. Sometimes I like to give my cards on a gift bag, and this is a fun product from my friend Lori over at Soapbox Creations. She just has a blog and she happens to sell a few of these that she came up with. They're card hanger dies. So this die cuts this little piece here. There are a few other designs. One's just a basic rectangle. This one has scallop. And what you do is you get a gift bag. You hold this little die cut exactly where you want the card to hang on the front of the gift bag. You trace that oval shape in the middle and then cut it out. I cut it out a little bit bigger than the opening, and you can see it's kind of messy, but it doesn't matter. You're going to put some adhesive on the back of this die and put it over that opening. So what this is just a little decoration for the outside of the card, and what you can do is take any of your vertical opening cards, which I make a lot of, and hang this on the gift bag. So this could be your decoration. So I just get plain craft gift bags like this, stuff tissue paper in it, and have the card hanging out the front. You can put real big decorative things on this, big bows and stuff, and they won't get smooshed. It's a fun way to present a card and a gift. This is one I did for Colin's teacher, and I just think it was fun to have that card hanging on the outside as opposed to just an envelope thrown in the inside. If you've been to my blog before, you know that I love to give handmade note cards in sets as gifts for teachers or friends. So it's fun to present these in a fun way. I normally reach for the Simon Says Stamp clear boxes. This holds, say, 10 or so envelopes, 10 or so handmade cards. Then I throw in a few postage stamps and also a cute pen. So this is you just wrap a ribbon around it and you have a cute little present to give. I like that it's clear because it shows what's included on the inside, and it just is a nice finished touch. You can see there's lots of room in there, so you can really flex on how much you squeeze into this box, or you can just put a few in and include an inexpensive pen and such. In a video a couple days ago, I showed you how to use the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board to make an envelope like this. I'll put a little link here so you can see how to do that. So this punch board is meant to make envelopes of any size. However, the engineer in me wondered if I could make a box for a note card set from this punch board. So I played around with it for a while, and I've come up what I think works best, the dimensions that work best. You can kind of play around with it if you want to, but these work for me, and I've put a little cheat sheet on the back here. So paper I cut by 9 by 9, and I score for the first time at 3.5 and 4.5, so you're going to score twice each time. So let me show you how I do this. I have a 9 by 9 piece of paper, and that's already cut here, and I'm going to put it in and I'll line it up with 3.5 over here. So you see the 3.5 up there? Then I press this button to punch it, and then I take my scoring tool and I put it in the hole. I'll lean it up so you can see. I put it in the hole and pull it diagonally down to the right. So I've done that at 3.5. Now I'm going to do it again on this side. So I'm going to move it over to 4.5, and I'm going to punch it and pull the scoring tool down to do that line. And now I'm going to rotate it. This time I don't care about the dimensions. What I'm going to do is line it up with that first score line that I did. So that little point is lined up with the score line. I'm going to punch it and then score. And then I'm going to move it over and line it up with the next score line. Just line up that point, punch it, and score. And then I'm going to rotate this and do it on the other two sides too. So you can play around with this a little bit to get better dimensions. I tried to round it to the best numbers so I wouldn't have some odd numbers, and it works really well. So this is the fourth side here, lining up with the score line, punching and scoring, and then I'll do it one last time. And then you end up with this funky looking piece of paper that is ready to go to turn into a box for some note cards. Now I just go through and I kind of crease all of these score lines so it'll be easier to put the box together. It doesn't take much time at all. And you have these little flaps, these square flaps that you got to take care of. On one long side I put a little cut as I did there, just to kind of release it so it flaps along. And then on the other long side I cut them out. So I just cut that little square corner out completely. So this will be the top finished side of our box. And you'll see this come together. So on one side you just cut little flaps, on the other side you cut the flaps off completely. Now you could cut off all 4 of these little square corners, but I like keeping the flaps on the bottom corners of my gift box because I think it gives it a little security, which I'll show you in a moment. Now I completely forgot to round the corners of all of my piece here. This punch board has, if you turn it around, you can put in your corners and round the corners just to give it a nice finished edge. You could skip this if you wanted to leave it at a point. Completely doesn't matter. Okay, so now let's go ahead and glue this bad boy together. It's really easy to do. I'm going to start by folding my little flaps in and putting some adhesive on them so then when we put the box together, they'll glue to the inside. Now I'm going to fold these small flaps in, put adhesive on the bottom side of the flap, and I'll do it again on this side. And that's really all the adhesive you need. So now I'm going to take a bunch of note cards just as a holding place. This is where I would put my note cards when they're done. But it's just a holding place to make this go together easily. I'm going to fold the bottom up, make sure I have my little flaps tucked in here. Now I'm going to pull that flap back up and tuck the sides in. See those sides are coming in? And now I'm going to put the flap down on it. Now I'm just going to be real careful to kind of make sure I got my box squared away here. Those flaps are folded in the inside and gluing in there. And there we have a little gift box for our note cards. You'll see it's a little bit tall and it's pretty snug on the side, but it works perfectly. You can see I put lots of envelopes and cards in there, and you can make a handmade card set and fill it in there. All you have to do is wrap a ribbon or put a piece of paper to make like a band around it, and you've got a finished little gift card box set. The finished size of this is about 5 3/4 by 4 1/2 by about 3/4. So this is perfect for your typical 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 note card set. So there's a lot of products here. If you have any interest in any of them, just check the YouTube description below. They're all linked down there. Or you can head over to my blog at jennifermcguireinc.com. I share a lot of different products as part of my favorite Crafty Things series, so be sure to check them out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.